me up, he's a liar.
hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the ACW Newscast number 90. Well, 90. 89. We will get to number 90 when the next newscast happens. So, yeah. How you guys doing? I just want to make sure everybody can hear me, first of all, because I know it's been a while since you've heard my beautiful voice among the airwaves, so I wanted to make sure it comes off clearly. So, other than that, this is the Thanksgiving 2018 edition of the newscast. I originally didn't plan on doing a newscast today. I was going to push it back to Saturday this week, but I think that I've held out long enough, and I have some free time. I'm actually cooking certain food for family, so that's kind of what I've been doing this morning, and cleaning and cooking along with certain family members. So I have free time, so that's why I'm able to do this now. So I felt I'm obligated to do it for you guys, but yeah. So that's what that is. So with that out the way, let's get to certain things that you guys probably would like to know. Where have I been? Why have I been silent for these past couple of days, maybe some weeks? Um, Basically, what it comes down to is that three things really. One, um, my movie editor, my movie editor was crapping out on me to where I couldn't get little to any projects out like I would have wanted to. It's fixed now, but like last week, it was giving me not only rendering problems, but it just wouldn't let me export the movies that I wanted to get out in time. So I had to just uninstall and reinstall it on my computer. It took a little while, updates included, but it's fine right now. So it should be all good. The second reason is because if you guys are aware, I do live in California, and recently we've been having a devastating fire that's been taking place amongst the northern side of the state. Unfortunately, and I live in Sacramento, so I wasn't near the fires. But unfortunately, what happened is that the smoke from those fires, they have trickled down here in Sacramento. So the smoke was really bad here. Not to mention with the fog and the air breeze that we get here in Sacramento at this time of day, at this time of season, it made me sick. The fire from the smoke that was coming down here made me sick. So I was out of commission anyways. Um, and then honestly, the third and final reason is because I know a lot of you have been enjoying W2K19 to its fullest at this point. You guys have been having fun with it. I haven't. I really haven't. So I took some time that I had available that I couldn't do any HW work. I was able to just simply, um, you know, finally get some time with W2K19 and work out the things that I want to work out with it. So, yeah. So that's basically what's been up with me. That's basically what's been going on with me. I've had, video editing issues. I've been sick from the fire, and I want to send my condolences to the lives lost in that fire and the families that have been affected by it. It's a sad and unfortunate situation for those all involved, and I hope that they can find some sort of resolve at their most needed time. And three, I just needed some time to really work on 2K19 because if I'm gonna move to the game, I would like to know what I'm doing. So there's that. So that's what's been up with me. So I know a lot of you have been wondering certain things of when certain shows and certain events are going to be taking place. So I did say earlier today, as I gave out my Happy Thanksgiving posts throughout social media, I did say that started next week we will be getting back to ACW programming, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So you can expect the new episodes of Excel and Impulse to be released for next week. I can guarantee you that right now. I know a lot of you people are looking forward to those episodes. So, so Excel and Impulse, the new episodes will be out during the British Invasion tour. That's going to be out next week. I can guarantee you that. Also, the big question that you guys are asking: when is the Element tournament coming out? First things first. No, it has not been canceled. I would not. Come on, guys. I would not cancel a big event, something that I've put a lot of time and investment into, such as the Element Tournament. So the Element Tournament is still a go. Um, the date I can give you for that now as well, I'll give it to you. Next Saturday. Next Saturday is when the Element Tournament will truly begin. Um, and for a lot of you guys that love some ACW wrestling, you're in luck because this Saturday, um, next Saturday, excuse me, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, it's going to be the entire first round of the tournament. So that means you're getting 16 first round matches in one night. So that's going to be happening. More news and details about that will occur throughout the week, or the weekend, whatever. But next Saturday will be the Element Tournament finally. I put a lot of effort and a lot of time into it while I was away or while I was even out. So I put a lot of time and effort to it. So you're going to be able to see the presentation and how I really like to interpret things with the tournament. So you'll get to see all that with me next Saturday. So next Saturday, 16 first round tournament matches are going to take place. By the end of the night, you're going to find out the 16 that will advance to the second round. So there you go. And then Anime Revolution, that's obviously going to be pushed to early December, which means Animania 5 will be pushed probably to the first week of next January for the new year. But either or, basically what I'm telling you is that this season will be over by January. By early January next year, the season's going to be done finally. And I can finally move on to what I really want to do for ACW moving forward. Because, as I've said before, as I've hinted these past couple of weeks, there are going to be some changes with ACW. The 10 years that ACW has been here with CAW, that chapter is going to be closed. Starting next season, I'm going to be implementing a lot of things that are going to be not so much different, but just unique to what ACW wants to be in the near future. So that's what's going to happen. And we're going to figure out, how ACW is going to go moving forward. I'll say this upcoming Element Tournament starting next Saturday, look out for that. That may give you a hint as to how I want to be able to do things for the future of ACW. And I'll just leave it at that. So, next week we will have Excel, Impulse, and the Element Tournament beginning with the first round. So that is my condolences. That's my olive branch to you for waiting for this long. And I do want to thank fans, old and new of the fandom. I want to thank all of you for being patient with me, for waiting it out. And I know it's tough. I know a lot of you guys are wondering where the hell Hakeem or HW has been, and if it's even coming back before the New Year's is going to start. I appreciate that. I understand your skepticism. I really do. Just thank you for really understanding and giving me the chance to just really put out what I want to put out for all of you. So I do want to thank you for all that. But yeah, that's the update I have in terms of programming. Any other news in terms of ACW will be released throughout this week as well. I know a lot of people really didn't get to get any updates after the ACW Impulse episode that we left off with, but a lot of things really happened. I'll just briefly talk about them. I'll briefly talk about them as I see fit. So basically, if you guys remember from Impulse number 98, we have another Animania match that's going to be scheduled. It's going to be title versus title. It's going to be two titles on the line simultaneously, as the Intercontinental Champion Hiei will go one-on-one against the Cruiserweight Champion Aaron Yeager. Both titles will be on the line at Animania 5. This is the first time this has happened in this type of caliber, to where two titles will be simultaneously defended, meaning Hiei or Aaron at the end of the night will walk out a double champion. They will walk out the Intercontinental and Cruiserweight Champion. When Goku said that he wants to make this year's Animania 5 the biggest of all time, because celebrating 10 years of ACW, he really meant it. So you're going to get that Animania 5 It's going to be Aaron versus Hiei for the Intercontinental and Cruiserweight title, and that's going to be a big thing. Speaking of Hiei, Hiei was assaulted also at Impulse number 98 after he successfully defended his Intercontinental title against Roy earlier in the night. He was attacked by Speedy. That's right, ACW alumni Speedy showed up at Impulse number 98. I have no idea why he showed up. All we know was that Goku personally invited him to come to Impulse that night, and Speedy apparently felt the need to go after Hiei. I have no idea why he went after him, but we can tell you, as we reported on that night later on, that Speedy will be at Impulse number 99, and he will explain his actions as to why he attacked Hiei at Impulse 98. So we'll figure that out. Why that's going to be the case for one Speedy, and it's great to see Speedy once again. By the way, I know Speedy um, is doing work outside of ACW as an ACW alumni, doing stuff for VWU and New Dawn Pro and all those guys there. So it's great to see Speedy, come back from his homecoming, if you will. His home grounds, if you want to call it that way. But we'll figure that out. Also, we've got another Road to Destiny qualification match happening at Impulse number 99. It'll be King JJ going one-on-one against Monkey D. Luffy, and King JJ, he explained his actions as to what he did to Kinnikuman at the Royale Rumble. We still have not heard any word from Kinnikuman. All we heard from the last time was that it didn't look good for the diagnosis, of one Kinnikuman. And I hope Kinnikuman and the family around Kinnikuman right now are pulling through and toughing it out at this current time. But King JJ will be having a qualification match against Luffy next week at Impulse number 99. As we already know, Neji Ayuga defeated Trunks at Impulse number 98 to be the first person to be in the Impulse Road Wrestling match for Animania 5, thanks to distraction from Goten. So there's that. And then we also get to the fact that the first inductee into the 2018 HCW Hall of Fame is none other than Mr. Shotgun himself, Yusuke Urameshi. Yusuke Urameshi that competed recently here on ACW for the Royale Rumble against Ichigo Kurosaki. Now, a lot of people have speculated as to how Yusuke could have possibly gotten this spot. I'm not here to speculate. I think Yusuke, despite how you may think that happened at the Rumble, I think Yusuke is very worthy. He's very worthy of a Hall of Fame spot. So I'm going to wish Yusuke congratulations to being a part of the ACW Hall of Fame class for this year. He will be the headliner for the ACW Hall of Fame this year. That means the headliner will get a match. Now, I stated earlier on a newscast that we are not having any more Hall of Fame shows anymore to this point. So that means the headliner match will be happening at it will be happening at the HW Direct episode of Animania 5. So Yusuke will be competing at HW Direct in a headliner match. He has not decided who that opponent will be, but it is his choice to decide who he wants to face at Direct. And we will recognize all the inductees of the 2018 class at Direct as well. So there's that. Other than and then also it's been a while, but also, Sasuke and Naruto had a little bit of, well, it wasn't even a back to four that Sasuke was doing most of the talking, but Sasuke pretty much lets Naruto know that, all the stuff that you've done so much, is not gonna matter. Like, all the accolades, all the accomplishments that you've done in ACW will simply not matter when you face Sasuke at Animania 5. Sasuke kind of tore Naruto up a little bit. And I know Sasuke and Naruto, Naruto's cool, likes to be cool with Sasuke. I don't know if Sasuke reciprocates that back to Naruto, but I would think there's some sort of cordial understanding between the two. But Sasuke looked like he had a little bit of a grudge to uphold against Naruto. But that is going to happen at Animania 5. Naruto Uzumaki, the 2018 Impulse Rumble winner, will challenge ACW Impulse World Champion Sasuke Uchiha for the first time ever in ACW, by the way. I'm surprised that this is going to be the first time ever happening at Animania 5. But it is going to be happening for the Impulse World Championship. And we'll find out if Naruto can be a two-time Impulse champion. If he can be able to finally be able to win the Impulse Championship at Animania for the first time in his career? Or will Sasuke finally best Naruto and prove that in this final debate he truly was the better of the two? We will find out. The debate will end here. You know, you've always been asked who's better, Sasuke or Naruto. You've always been asked that ever since the show Naruto began. Well, you're going to find out in this final debate who truly is the best of the best between those two. So, Animania 5 is shaping up to be an Animania 5. You know, it's shaping up to be an animated to never forget, is basically what I'm getting at. So, we will see how that goes. Um, and that was Impulse. That was Impulse 98. So next week, Impulse number 99. We've got JJ Luffy. Speedy will explain his actions. Um, Sasuke and Naruto, and also Sasuke and Naruto. I almost forgot to mention. After Sasuke said what he said towards Naruto, Kankuro and Gaara came out and attacked both Sasuke and Naruto. They were both attacked. So I don't know what that means in a certain sense, but we will find out hopefully at Impulse 99 if something occurs. Also, we've got Eren Yeager going one-on-one against Takoya as well. And also, as you all know, Impulse 100, we're getting close to that as well. It's going to be a mega episode for Impulse. All ACW alumni is invited to the show. Um, Certain moves are being made as well as to certain talents trying to come to Impulse for this episode. We'll see if it works. If not, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm just letting you know that certain things are in the works to get certain talent here for the Impulse 100 episode. So make sure you guys look out for that as well. That should be pretty much fun for all of you too, that are especially old school ACW fans as well. Um, so that's a little bit of a recap for Impulse number 98. Anime Revolution is coming up to you guys in December. The matches so far that we have are Ichigo Kurosaki going one-on-one against Aang. A little bit of a grudge match between those two that have been going back and forth for weeks. So that's going to be finally happening. The traditional six-man elimination tag match. It'll be Night Raid once again defending their record, their undefeated streak of these matches, taking on the team of Haru Glory, the Excel World Champion, and 2DK, Donkey, and Diddy Kong. That will be happening also as well at Anime Revolution as well. Also, from the Impulse side, we did get some news on that as well. It will be Goten going one-on-one against Dark Magician in an Impulse Road to Destiny qualification match. That is also being scheduled to happen at Anime Revolution. Speaking of which, the Impulse Tag Team titles will be on the line as Shoryuki and Ken and Ree will defend the Impulse Tag Team titles against Hugo and Rock of Cell 13. The two teams had a match at Impulse 98, but due to miscommunication, more so Ken's stubbornness, Cell 13, in their biggest win to date, were able to defeat the champions in a non-title match. So now Shoryuken have to defend those titles against Cell 13. They have to wrestle again in Anime Revolution. Only this time the titles are going to be on the line. If Cell 13 find a way to exploit Shoryuken's miscommunication yet again, those titles are going to be going to Cell 13, which is what Warden Hajime wants at the end of the day. So we got to find out if Ryu and Ken can be able to put their problems aside and get the job done and look at the task at hand and say, we've got to retain those titles. Our reigns are in jeopardy, because they are, in my opinion. So those are just two new matches being updated. Plus, the looming thing that's going around is that Edward Elric, as invited might be, oh my goodness. Maybe I'm hungry because I can't talk right now. But Edward Elric has been invited to Anime Revolution as ordered by me. I talked to Mr. Smith about it. He's not happy about it, I get it. But I feel in terms of what's best for the fans and what's best for, ACW in general and CAW, I think Edward Elric coming back is going to be something that I think a lot of people would want as some sort of closure, I guess, for them. So, Edward Elric has been invited to Anime Revolution. The question is, will he even accept it? I haven't heard from Edward Elric in a while. Even when I was in hiatus, I haven't heard from him. So, I'm a little skeptical if he'll show up, but we'll find out if he does at the end of the day. So, that's up to him completely. Um, so that's the Anime Revolution card as it stands right now. I'm sure more matches will be updated and announced next week for Excel and Impulse as we get closer to it. And then after Anime Revolution, it's smooth sailing to Animania 5 in Los Angeles. So look forward to that as well. Am I missing anything else? So for those that have just came in, by the way, for those that have just come in, by the way, Excel and Impulse will be available next week. The Element Tournament first round, all 16 matches will be broadcast live next Saturday. So the first round will be completely broadcast next Saturday here on YouTube as well. So there's that. Now I do want to update you on certain other programming as well, as it pertains to ACW's channels and all that. As if you'll notice, right, during while I was in well, not in hiatus, but like out of commission. But if you haven't noticed, certain content on YouTube are no longer available from the main channel, and I did that deliberately because lately I have noticed that YouTube is once again starting to be way restrictive in terms of what content they want put out for their website. Um, it feels like content creators, small YouTubers, if you will, are being shackled, they're being handcuffed to be creating whatever YouTube wants, and that used to not be the case. Um, well, it did, but it used to not be for a little while recently. But until now, it's clear that YouTube wants to push corporate channels like NBC or like I don't know, Amazon or whatever. They want to push those kind of products and channels to basically become a YouTube version of television, which doesn't make any sense to me since television, as you know, it is dying already. So I don't understand that. I don't understand why YouTube would want to emulate television on an internet-based website where people just want video sharing. They don't want television with commercials. We already get advertisements and commercials in our videos as it is. But I've noticed that, and I don't like it. And I made a tweet about it a couple of weeks ago about how YouTube is starting to become draconian with how they are approaching small content creators and even some big content creators on YouTube as well. I don't make any money off of this, so it's not like I'm doing it for a profit. It'd be cool if I could, but I don't. I do it for the creativity, and when I feel like my creativity is being stifled, I have to react accordingly. So, certain content that were available, um, certain content that were available on YouTube, I have deliberately taken down. Um, yeah, so in order to see those content, I'm going to now be uploading them on BitChute.com. I know a lot of people have I know a lot of people have their gripes about it. I know a lot of people have their doubts because of what happened with VidMe when I did all this, but BitChute is a pretty good website in terms of what it wants to do. It's able to showcase content without any restrictions, little to no restrictions. I have personally been revamping the the BitChute account on for ACW. We're going to be uploading a lot of exclusive content starting next season. As a matter of fact, we are going to be uploading exclusive content that won't be available anywhere else but BitChute.com. So that means there's going to be a lot of content that won't be available on on YouTube. It'll be on BitChute. I did post a link on the chat room over there, so if you want to go ahead and check it out, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to our BitChute account. It would mean a lot to us if you would go ahead and subscribe and follow us over there, so you guys can get the exclusive content that we're going to be posting there. So all the the Superstar theme songs, they are all most of them. Most of the Superstar themes are at BitChute right now at this moment, so you can go ahead and check those out. The webisodes as well will now finally be exclusive to BitChute as well. So that means I'm not going to be uploading any more webisodes on YouTube for the time being. I'm going to be uploading them on BitChute. So if you want to go ahead and get these exclusive content like the webisodes, Superstar themes, I'm going to possibly be doing the 2K19 showcases over at BitChute as well. If you want those kind of content, make sure you subscribe to bitchute.com/theofficialACW, so that way you can get content that you won't see anywhere but that website. Because I'm very big on alternative media competing with the big sites, so that way there's a lot of opportunities for everybody. So yeah, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe. Whether you want to do it right now, maybe after the newscast, but make sure you go and subscribe to bitchute.com/theofficialACW. We'll be uploading a lot of stuff there. Speaking of streaming, also in terms of streaming, I did say that next season we're going to be revamping the way we structure our content and the way we provide content to a lot of you. So I'll probably do a graphic for it soon, but I just want to let you know right now. Um, earlier this week, earlier this month, I guess, I did say that Animania 5 would be streamed to Twitch, but after seeing certain things take place on Twitch and reading the TOS and all that, I feel that Twitch may not be the ideal place for me to stream certain things. So, until I find a solution for that, um, Animania 5, unless something changes completely or something goes wrong in that end, I'm going to be streaming Animania 5 on stream.me. That's where I'm going to be streaming Animania 5. So if you don't have a stream.me account, you might want to go ahead and sign up and make an account right now, because that's where Animania 5 and Animania 5 Week in general will be streamed at stream.me. Um, and it will be uploaded later up to the YouTube Mega Events channel. So I will let you guys know a lot of things are going to change. I'm going to let you know which content is going to go in which websites. It's going to make sense by the end of all of it. But I just want to give you a heads up. I want to give you a heads up right now that it'll be on stream.me for Animania 5 and Animania 5 week. Animania 5, the day of Animania 5, it's going to be an all-day streaming. We're going to be streaming content all day on stream.me on our channel leading up to Animania 5 that night. So, let me see if I can go ahead and type. Let me see. Let me type the official. Yeah, there you go. Hold on. Da, da. There you go. So, stream.me/ the anime CW. That is going to be the link where we're going to be streaming all of our ACW mega events going forward next season. We'll starting with Animania 5. But that's what's going to happen from this point forward. And look, I know there's a lot of content creators. I know there's a lot of call owners that are afraid of stepping outside of the box and trying things that are new, even if nobody else is willing to do it. I've always been a firm believer of trying to help the alternatives, step up, because at the end of the day, Caw, you know, to a lot of people was an alternative to wrestling when wrestling wasn't as good. They looked to CAW for that kind of creativity, for that kind of entertainment, no matter what anyone says. So, as content creators, we have an obligation to continue to be creative towards those that we apply the content to. And I feel that, even if I have to do it alone, even if I have to be the sole person to do it alone, that's fine, because that's what I've always been. That's always what I've been bred upon. That's always what I've been about. I've always been about the underdog. I've always been about helping other websites that aren't as popular, aren't as known as maybe a YouTube or a Google or a Facebook or a Twitter. And I would like to move it there so that way I can be able to establish something to where it could possibly grow bigger and better. That's why I have a BitChute account. That's why I am doing exclusive content on BitChute from now on. That's why I'm going to start streaming on stream.me rather than Twitch or YouTube for mega events now. I want to be able to expand my horizons with ACW and possibly CAW in terms of this will start something that could help everybody in CAW. But I understand a lot of people aren't as, gung-ho to jump for it, but again, that's just who I am as a person. I can't help that. So, that's the update for ACW in general, ACW programming. Any updates that you guys have had, any whereabouts about me or the company in general. And with that said, we're just gonna lead into our Q&A section. So, I know I haven't been gone for too long, I don't think, but I've been gone for a little bit. So I might have missed a lot of things that have happened in CAW, in maybe wrestling, maybe everything all in between. So, any questions or comments you would like to make right now, you guys are more than willing to do it. If you guys want to send a comment, just say a comment. That's cool. But any questions that you may have for me for about anything, um, I am more than willing to answer them to the best of my knowledge and abilities. So, I will let you guys go ahead and catch up here, and you guys can go ahead and ask any questions and fire away. Have you kept up with anything? It depends. In terms of CAW, not really, but I probably will catch up by the time I put out the Element Tournament next Saturday. Let's put it that way. Um, with wrestling, I kind of have here and there. I am aware of what happened with Survivor Series and all of that, so I'm cool with all that. Anime, I gotta catch up on my anime viewing personally because the new season's coming up in about 2 months, so I need to finish these current anime shows before I get to the new season in January. So, uh, and by the way, if I missed your questions, just repost it on the chat room, and I'll eventually get to it. Um, will you have a Impulse versus Excel themed mega event in the future? Yeah, it's possible. I've been asked that a lot for years actually, and I've been trying my best to even get that done in a certain sense. It's just timing, hiatus, real life just didn't transpire. Although I will say it's more probable around this time this year than I think ever in previous years. So yeah, an Excel versus Impulse themed mega event is very possible. It just has to be the right time, and it just has to be um, how you are able to construct that if it's going to make sense to what you're doing for the season. Um, will there be more ACW 2K19 creation content streaming? I'll say this. I'm pretty much done with most of the Impulse roster on 2K19. Most of the Impulse roster, and that includes the new superstars that will be a part of Impulse coming up for that season. They're pretty much. I'm basically 90% done with the Impulse roster. I think I'm pretty much done with the Impulse roster 90%. I just gotta create maybe a few more characters here and there, but I'm pretty much done with the Impulse roster. So I may go ahead and do maybe a live streaming of the Excel side for 2K19 because I haven't really touched that yet. So maybe that'll be the case. What are your thoughts on the Daniel Bryan heel turn championship victory? Um, I guess it was time. I look. I don't think Daniel Bryan has the same aura or the same gravitational pull that he did back in 2014 when the Yes movement really was happening. I just don't think he has that anymore. So I think him turning heel was fine. But here's the thing: Daniel Bryan needs to be a heel that isn't a chicken shit though. Like just have Daniel Bryan be like he was at Survivor Series, just beating the shit out of Brock Lesnar. By the way, Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar, easily Brock Lesnar's best match in a long while. So kudos to Bryan for making that happen. But that's what the kind of heel Daniel Bryan needs to be. He needs to be, simply put, it needs to be the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson here. So we'll see how that goes. I will say it was interesting that Daniel Bryan was the one that beat AJ for the title, especially with certain rumors that are floating around the interwebs with AJ Styles and other people. It might be a little bit of an interesting 2018 to close out. Let's put it that way. Um, why are you a Denver Broncos fan? Um, I grew up on John Elway and Shannon Sharp and Terrell Davis. Those were the people that I thought were explosive. That I thought those were the people that I liked watching on ABC Monday Night Football. So those are my guys. That's why I became a Broncos fan. I thought the Broncos were great. So you know, not much of the Broncos are really doing work now. But that's just one thing. Um, thoughts on thoughts on the concrete block. Thoughts on that concrete block spot that happened in Mexico. And he asks to, have you seen the idiot in Mexico hitting his opponent in the head with the cinder block over the last few days? Yeah, I did see a clip of that. Stupid. Fucking stupid. I know that pro wrestling has ran out of originality, so you have to raise the bar even higher to get some sort of attention, but this isn't wrestling. That's just pure negligence. When you wrestle somebody, you're supposed to trust that person with your body as much as that person is trusting their body with you. So when you actively hurt somebody to that level, you have completely broke that trust. You completely broke that bond as a wrestler. I'm not here to really shit on deathmatch wrestling. It's personally not really my thing of a high taste, but I'm not really gonna shit on it. I'm just shitting on this guy using a cinder block to throw it on top of someone's head who is fighting for his life and trying to recover. It's reckless, it's dumb. Learn how to fucking wrestle. Okay? I'm tired of people that think, wrestling has to be this extreme or that extreme. It has to be 30 to 40 minutes of pure in-ring wrestling. It's got to be just explosives and light tubes and cinder blocks. You know, I'm tired of people thinking that it has to be one extreme or the other. Wrestling has always been great when there's a variety. Wrestling has always been great when there is something for everybody. That includes the wrestlers, that includes the characters, that includes the shows. There's something for everybody. Nobody wants to watch a show which just straight up matches with little to no story that goes on for 30 minutes. That's boring as fuck. I'm sorry, and I know a lot of you people are going to try to deny that that's the case for you too. But you guys know that there's some sort of truth in that statement. Same thing. It's the same thing of you thinking that you having to have hardcore matches every fucking match is going to draw people in, and that's not the case either. So, you know, ugh. Oh, hold on. Give me 1 second here. Let me fix this real quick. All right, there we go. That should work. But yeah, basically what I was saying, um, to me, if he can't wrestle, if he can't trust to work with somebody, then I'm sorry that he cannot be in a wrestling ring. I wouldn't book him at that point. Do you fit Impulse and Excel on one account, or do you have two accounts? I have two accounts, so I have one separate for Impulse. I have one separate for Excel. Yeah. Let's see. What are your thoughts on Survivor Series? I actually thought Survivor Series was their best event so far. I actually thought Survivor Series was a pretty good show overall in terms of what they needed to do. I thought, like I said earlier, Bryan and Lesnar was a great main event. I thought Lesnar put in work as much as Bryan did. Um, I thought Ronda Rousey and Charlotte was good for what it was. Of course, it's going to be a rematch. It's probably going to happen at WrestleMania, if not the Rumble. Despite Becky Lynch being out or not, I think the plan was still going to be Ronda versus Charlotte at the end of the day for Mania. As much as a lot of Becky fans will hate to hear that, that's been the plan ever since Ronda came in this year at the Rumble. That's the plan they're going to stick with, and they might as well just ride it out at this point. Becky's kind of just it's kind of a stopgap. She might even, here's the thing. She might, when Becky comes back, she might face Nia Jax. That's probably where they're gonna go. As much as stupid as Nia is for that injury against Becky, that's probably where they're gonna go. They're not gonna give Becky that main event match. It's probably gonna be Becky. It's probably gonna be Becky versus Nia at the moment. Um, so sorry to tell you that. Um, Yeah, I thought Survivor Series was pretty decent for what it was. I thought War Games was better though. Obviously, I mean, I'm a sucker for the War Games match in general, but I thought War Games was just outstanding. I thought the War Games match itself was great. To the level of the better War Games from WCW, probably not. But I thought for what that War Games match meant for the Undisputed Era and the team of Ricochet, Dunn, and the War Raiders, I thought it was great. So There you go. Do you like the GTA series? When I was a kid, I kind of liked it. I kind of liked the GTA series here and there. Not so much anymore. I kind of grew out of it. Let's see. The guy who did that says he intended to hit him in the back, but hit him in the head instead. I don't give a damn. I don't care. If you are not trustworthy, if you cannot have the eyesight, if you cannot have the foresight, knowing that a spot like that could be very dangerous to where it could affect the health of your opponent that you're supposed to be trusting their body with, then you shouldn't be wrestling in the ring. I don't give a damn what I don't give a damn what his excuse is. Don't do the spot. If you're gonna do a death match, at least be smart about it. There are death matches, you know, in BJW and in Japan in general that do death matches, but there's smart spots about it. It's not reckless. They pick their spots. There's still a story being told in those death matches. Okay, I'm not gonna listen to that excuse. Don't do the spot. If you know you can't do the spot, don't do the spot. Are you thinking of upgrading ACW to WWE 2K19? Yeah, ACW will be on 2K19 starting next season. So, uh, death matches are stupid, too violent, just not wrestling. It's just like David Arquette getting cut open on his neck against Nick Gage. Out of all things, a damn death match. Well, here's the thing. Like I said, I'm not here to really shit on death matches. Death matches aren't my repertoire in terms of what I look for in wrestling, but I can enjoy a death match here and there, once in a while. I can enjoy that. Um, it has its place in wrestling to a certain degree. David Arquette, that whole thing. Look, I get people saying, and because I read people like, Hurricane Helms was on Twitter saying shit like, the promoter should have known better to have David Arquette in the death match. But here's the thing, I refuse to believe David Arquette, who has dabbled into wrestling before, isn't aware of at least what a death match is. If Hurricane Helms, who he calls David Arquette his friend, should have told him what a death match was at the end of the day and who Nick Gage is when it comes to death matches. So that blames on Helms, if anything, if he didn't tell Arquette about what he was getting himself into. There's blame to go around. I think the likes of Gage and the promotion that put it out there should have known better that he's not a trained wrestler. He's an actor, if anything, first. And that put him in this environment like that could really have some damning consequences. But David Arquette should also have done some research to know what he was getting into. Ask the boys around. Ask Hurricane Helms, his friend apparently, what a death match is and who Nick Gage is. He should have been able to know what he was getting into before stepping in that match. So, just a shit show all around, basically. Speaking of war games, there is kind of a way to make it in 2K19. 3-on-3, KO, submission, Hell in a Cell. Yeah, basically. But it's not like you can. Well, actually, if you can use certain video editing tricks, you can actually probably do in war games. Kind of. Kind of. Kind of. I'll just leave it at that. Happy Thanksgiving, man. Happy Thanksgiving to you, man. Ready for Reiko and Sakura at Revelations? Yeah, I mean, I've been, Reiko and Sakura has been a rivalry that's been built for DCA for a while, so I'll see how that turns out. I'll see how that goes. We'll see. I'll be looking into certain things about it. Hopefully they do. Let me say this. Hopefully they do it right, and I'll leave it at that. You can take the interpretation how you want, but I'm hoping they do it right. And I'll just leave it at that. With SmackDown Live's move to Fox next year in October, changing it to a more sports-oriented show, do you think there's hope for WWE altogether in terms of ratings fans? I really don't. I think people need to understand that pro wrestling's time has passed. I think people need to understand that pro wrestling's time in mainstream has been long over. It's no longer that popular trend that it was back in the 80s and 90s. It's simply a semi-relevant business for the niche audience that still follow it. And you can just look at the attendance that they keep getting, which continues to decrease. Um, the ratings have been poor. If this was still on any other broadcast network, it would have been canceled by now. But because it's still doing ratings that are high enough for USA, they still keep it. Um, I personally think that Fox has a little bit of buyer's remorse already bringing SmackDown because they think they need more content. But the fact of the matter is that people are just not looking for wrestling in 2018 unless you're really a hardcore wrestling fan. Because let's think about it. How much programming is out there for the WWE, let alone other independent promotions that aren't WWE? The casual wrestling fan isn't going to be looking for other wrestling promotions other than WWE because they can't even do it for WWE's programming as it is right now. The casual probably looks at Raw as the WWE show. They could give a fuck about SmackDown. So I get why they're doing the move. But a lot of casuals look at Raw as the true WWE show. And they'll probably look at maybe a WrestleMania Royal Rumble as their pay-per-views to watch and buy. But other than that, there's really nothing for the casual to hook themselves into to where they can watch the WWE every week. There's no way. You've got Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, NXT. Um, that's way too much wrestling. That's way too much WWE. A WWE that's not of quality either. Sure, you have your Becky Lynch's here right now. Sure, you have Daniel Bryan as your heel right now. But those are just little exceptions to the whole picture, and the whole picture is still not all that good. Back in the 80s and 90s, would I would have loved more wrestling? Of course, because wrestling back then was just at an all-time high. It was quality. It was great stuff. There was something for everybody, of course. But in today's oversaturation of WWE programming, and with certain independent promotions not being as good as you may think they are, I don't know if I want more wrestling. I barely keep up with WWE as it is. You know? So, why would I be inclined to watching more stuff and pay $10 for that? It's a valuable. It's a value. It's a valid question. So maybe I don't know. I don't know about um, WWE thinking that SmackDown, which is gonna get 3 hours now too on Fox, that's ridiculous. That's just gonna make SmackDown a blue Raw. But it is what it is. Um, is there an update on Jury and Kanekame's injury, sir? The update for Jury Sonata basically, and I posted it on Discord, but I wasn't able to post it on Facebook. And as a matter of fact, we'll give out more details this later today about it. But essentially, Jury Sonata is out for the British Invasion tour after the attacks Reiko committed towards Jury at Excel 93. The last episode we left you off with. Jury is no longer within the tour. She's been flown back to her residence in Las Vegas. So she's been put on inaction until further notice. Um, I feel bad for Jury because, and I'll explain the fact that Jury Sonata and Reiko Hinamoto, basically all the Glamour X division wrestlers have been invited for the Element tournament. I'll explain more about it next week. I don't want to actually kind of say too much about it, but it's unfortunate. Let's put it that way. Let's see. It was not an intended spot in that match. The wrestler just decided to bring the cinder block and use it. It wasn't even planned spot. Plus, Arquette took the blame for what happened to himself. Again, like I said, I don't care if it was intended or not. Like, if you know the spot's dangerous, if it's too dangerous to do, don't do the spot. Period. There's no justification for it, in my opinion. And Arquette taking the blame, I mean, he's just a humble dude, I guess, in that sense. So I guess I'll give kudos to Arquette taking certain blame for that. Thoughts of Goku Balloon on the Macy Parade? I don't watch the Macy Parades like I used to when I was a kid. I really don't. I just kind of grew out of them. But I did see the clip of Goku on the Macy's Parade. I thought it was pretty dope. Just tells you that anime in 2018. I remember 10 years ago, and there's alarms outside my house here. But anyways, 10 years ago, anime was looked at as just some sort of degenerate type of genre for kids and teenagers. In a lot of ways, it still kind of is, but not too much. But anime's become so mainstream now that you have no choice but to accept it. So seeing Goku on the Macy's Day Parade was pretty cool. Also, I cannot wait for the Broly movie coming out next January. I cannot effing wait. I've seen the trailer already. It looks awesome. Was the Brian heel turn the right decision to make, in your opinion? Was it the right decision? Probably, because AJ had to lose the title at some point. He's already gone a full year as WWE World Champion. He had to lose it at some point. I didn't think he would make it all the way to WrestleMania because that would have been maybe too long. So, yeah, he had to lose it at some point. And Daniel Bryan being the heel probably was the safe bet. So maybe it was the right decision. If there was any anime crossover, what crossover would you like to see? I would like to actually see a Naruto My Hero Academia crossover for a lot of reasons, but I'll leave it at that. Thoughts on the Elite possibly starting their own wrestling promotion? That's been the rumor lately around the wrestling circles that certain trademarks have been filed from the Elite or the backer of this promotion that's going to be co-sponsoring with the Elite. I don't know if it's really solid, but I will say it's where there's smoke, there's fire. Not to use that joke here in California these days, but that's the case here. So I do think, what is it? Final Battle next month will be the swan song for the Elite. They'll be gone from Ring of Honor. I don't see them signing with the WWE either. So that really that really inclines me to believe that they're gonna start either their own promotion or solely be New Japan guys. We'll find out, but yeah, 2019 will be interesting in January, so I will be looking up for that. How angry did Nia injuring Becky and putting her out make you? Uh, it irritated me in the sense that Nia Jax should know better. It's like, I know that accidents happen in the ring, but how many people do you have to injure before the accidents just start to become a pattern? You know, you effectively just ruined Becky's Survivor Series match. She might be out for a long while. She may even miss her chance of main eventing or possibly wrestling a prominent match at Mania with Ronda Rousey. Even though I still don't believe that she was going to get that match anyways, but that's for another discussion. Um, it's just reckless. Now, am I too far off to say that uh, Nia was deliberately told to injure Becky through some BS? I'm not going to go that far. But what I am going to say, though, is that it's funny that a lot of wrestlers on Twitter and social media came out to criticize Nia Jax. That tells me that, you know, a lot of people aren't fond of Nia Jax, and that the only reason why she's in the position and spot she's in is because of nepotism being related to The Rock and the Samoan lineage of wrestling, and the fact that she is a big girl, and WWE are so, PC and SJW with the way they want to portray their product, that they want a body positive character Nia Jax. That's the only reason why she's in that position, that a lot of people think that's the case. So, I think it's ridiculous. Um, Nia Jax, I think Nia Jax, honestly, she needs to either go back to NXT and kind of retrain herself a bit, or just simply release her. Because if we're gonna keep getting these quote unquote accidents, then it's not worth it. It's not worth the investment here. If Dwayne, if he's gonna get mad about it, then let him be mad about it. He's already a box office seller. He'll be fine. He'll get over with his wads of cash. He won't be that mad. Uh, any Call of Dream matches you'd like to see done in the future? Best Call matches outside of ACW have seen this year. Uh, Probably not the. I'm probably not the best person to ask that question. I just haven't really been consistently following CW this year. I've been catching up on stuff, but I just haven't really consistently, thoroughly watched a lot of that stuff. So I can't answer that question. Been a long time fan. Can I get a shout out? Hey, well, happy Thanksgiving, Army and the Commissioner. I know you've been a fan of ACW for a long time, so I appreciate you joining us for this newscast. I appreciate it, dude. Thoughts on 6ix9ine getting arrested? Finally, good riddance. Fuck him. Granted, I know that this is a publicity stunt for his album. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, his album's being delayed. No, no, no. This is a publicity stunt to make his ego and image grow bigger, so by the time the album drops, you'll buy it. I'm not buying it. I think this is all a publicity stunt. If it's not a publicity stunt, good riddance. I'm sick of this dude. I'm sick of his antics. I'm sick of the way he tries to take advantage of people, thinking that him trolling certain people can get him to break the law and to get away from the law here and there. I don't care anymore. Maybe some jail time will humble him. Maybe some jail time will humble this dude. But good riddance. Um, have you seen the trailer for the new Code Geass movie? If you're talking about the latest one, I have not, and I'm probably gonna check it out as soon as I close this newscast. When do you see the WWE doing the Four Horsewomen versus Four Horsewomen match? Um, if it doesn't happen next year, it'll happen the year following. I want to say it's going to happen at a WrestleMania. I'm thinking though now it might happen at a SummerSlam. Basically, what I'm saying is that Charlotte and Rousey will get their rematch at. I'm sorry, guys. I know some of you guys are Becky fans, but you guys kind of need to think logically here and kind of think reason here. Becky kind of happened out of nowhere. The WWE are going to obviously coast on this momentum. The fact that Becky injured herself, and now that Charlotte quote unquote turned heel and did those antics that you would have probably thought Becky would have done had she not gotten injured, it's clear that they're trying to transfer Becky's momentum to Charlotte now. I don't care what anyone says. That's exactly what's going on. They're trying to transfer Becky's character and momentum to Charlotte now. Okay? The rematch is going to happen at Mania. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you, but the rematch is going to happen at Mania. That's going to be the biggest match that the WWE wants to main event for WrestleMania next year, especially with the likes of Roman Reigns obviously out, Brock Lesnar not being reliable for a Mania match, main event match. They're going to go at Ronda Charlotte. That's just where they're going to go with it. And if that's the case, I expect Ronda to turn heel there when they bring up Shayna and Jessamine and Marina, I believe. Bring up her cohorts, and that's when at SummerSlam of that year you'll get the Four Horsewomen versus Four Horsewomen match. I think that's how I would do it if I was booking that whole thing. But yeah, that's where I see it. Let's see. Who do you see taking the title from Brock at Mania, Drew or Braun? My mind's telling me Braun. I'm thinking it's gonna be Drew though. I think there's a lot of investment in Drew at this point to where they might as well give it to Drew. If you're not going to do it with Braun, if you're not going to invest in Braun, I think it's even too late at this point to give it to Braun. Because even if Braun does beat Lesnar for the title, it won't have the same effect that it could have been last year. It won't have the same effect as it could have a couple of months ago or a year ago. The heat off Braun has decreased in my opinion. The momentum has completely cooled off for Braun, to where if you even give him the title, it just won't mean as much as it could have. And that's just WWE for you in 2018. Thoughts on what Enzo did at Survivor Series? Publicity stunt. Um, I don't know. The disguise Enzo had to come in was pretty funny. I will give him that. That one chick that took him down though was pretty boss. I will say that. That was pretty dope. Um, yeah, clearly Enzo was trying to get promotion for his album, I guess he's coming out with. Who the hell's buying an Enzo Amore album in 2018? And if you do, I have to question your musical taste. Let's see. I wouldn't call it Nia being stiff. I call it strong style. And Becky couldn't handle this queen of strong style. I kid. I was gonna go off. I'm like, really, dude? She's a fat bitch. That's what she is. Well, you guys are really holding no punches. No pun intended. Relax. Do you think Kyrie will do well on the main roster, in your opinion? Well, let's see. Let me look at the history of Japanese wrestlers in the WWE. Yeah, I'm gonna have to press X for doubt there. Nakamura showed promise, and he's been relegated to now as a pretty much a slapstick, semi-comedy competitor on SmackDown now. Um, to where like his U.S. title reign absolutely means nothing. I don't know how people like Nakamura's having one of the most forgettable U.S. title reigns I've ever seen. The only thing I'm gonna remember of Nakamura, and I might as well say it now, but the rumors are getting stronger that AJ, Nakamura, Gallus and Anderson are probably not going to re-sign with WWE coming up in February. Now, granted, I still think AJ is going to re-sign. You invested a year of him being the world champion. He's in the top position that he's always wanted to be in. I think AJ's playing hardball. He'll resign eventually. He will. I think Gallows and Anderson are probably going to be done. I think they're going to leave. They'll either go back to New Japan or they may be involved in that elite promotion that's been rumored about. So, but I see Anderson and Gallows being the likely ones leaving. Nakamura, he may resign. He's the odd card. He's like the 50-50 of the whole thing. Um, he may resign or he may just go back to New Japan and call it a career there. We'll see. A lot of moving pieces are going to happen because here's the thing: you've got WWE contracts coming up, or some people just haven't re-signed. You've got a rumored huge NXT signing class coming up in January. I heard the likes already of Trevor Lee from Impact Wrestling are going to be going there. ACH might be rumored there as well. Um, Silas Young is another one that I've heard rumored. Adam Page. I've heard a lot of names. So the NXT class coming in January could be really, really big. Um, Impact Wrestling, they're doing a lot of events. They're going to be going to their stomping grounds in Nashville for Homecoming, their next pay per view, and they're going to have to renegotiate their TV deal as well. So they've got things going. Lucha Underground, if there's going to be even a season 5, Ring of Honor needs to figure out what the hell they're going to do because if this elite promotion happens, it's going to be a direct competition to Ring of Honor, in my opinion. New Japan's going to look to expand. A lot of moving pieces are going to happen in the start of 2019, the first quarter of 2019. So be on the lookout between now and WrestleMania. Excuse me. Now and WrestleMania, just look at how the moving pieces happen in wrestling, and see where it's going to change right now to like a month from now. But like I was saying about Kyrie, saying Nakamura's been probably relegated to a forgettable U.S. champion. His only memories to me will be his outstanding match with Sami Zayn at Takeover, his first match in NXT, and then obviously his Royal Rumble win, in my opinion, was also a big moment. But other than that, I think Nakamura's WWE title, Nakamura's WWE career could have been so much more, and it just wasn't. Hideo Itami, the former Kenta, could have been so much more as well. I know I get it with injuries and whatnot, but it just could have been so much more than what was originally promised. Asuka had so much presence, and she probably was the one with the most success rate compared to the three. But then even they cooled her off her momentum. They had Charlotte tap her out for the uh, the undefeated streak this year at Mania, and she hasn't been the same since. So I don't see it. I don't see where Kyrie will fit prominently or effectively to what the WWE wants. I'm sorry. I don't see it. What are your thoughts on the rumors that Kenny Omega may go to WWE? I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening because Kenny Omega has stated himself that he has certain things he still want to accomplish in New Japan before he leaves anywhere. So I don't see him coming this year. At the very least, I don't see him coming this year. Or obviously, 2019. I don't see him coming in there. So, what is your game of the year currently, in your opinion? Probably Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but I may be wrong. Any updates on Kaneka Man? Kaneka Man, not there hasn't been really any updates on Kaneka Man. Um, the diagnosis that we heard the last time we heard about any updates was that it didn't look good for him. But other than that, we haven't heard any updates. Any call stars to keep eyes on for 2019? You'll ask me that. Tell you what, ask me that question again when we do the next newscast because again, I have to keep up with a lot of things that have happened in CAW. So, kind of forgive me for not answering that question. Um, Sorry, I had to do something. What did I miss? Oh, nothing. Just for just the Q&A portion of the newscast. What do you think of the league OCBF? I think it's a pretty decent league that tends to do a lot of request matches for the fans to be more interactive. So I think there's a place for stuff like that in CAW. Any updates on Revi and her injuries, sir? Again, there hasn't been any updates about Revi's injuries as well either. Um, I haven't heard back from Revy or the physician that gave me that update about Revy's injury. So I can't really say until I get any other confirmation. Looks like the questions have stopped here. Tell you what, because it's Thanksgiving, I'm probably gonna get ready to start cooking some other stuff. So um, I'll give it about what 5. I'll give it about 5 to 10. I'll give it about. Here's how about this? I'll give it 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. So any questions or comments you have, any more final questions you have, you might want to post them right now because I'll give you 10 minutes. I'll give you just guys 10 minutes. All right, let's see here. Do you know the Angels of Death anime? I'm not. I'm not familiar with the Angels of Death anime, so sorry. Thoughts on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? I have not played it, or I don't even think it's out yet. But from what I've seen so far, it's looking like it's gonna be the final Smash game, unless because I don't know how you top this. I don't know how else you top this Ultimate game. I really don't. I think even if Smash continues in a way, I think this will be Sakurai's last Smash game. I really do believe that. I honestly do believe that. What about Kinnikuman? Any updates? I just said it. There hasn't been any updates about Kinnikuman. It's been kind of quiet on the whereabouts of what he's gonna do in the future in ACW. So surprised that you did the Summer of Punk storyline better than WWE did. No, not really. Because as much as I loved that period back in 2011, I want to say between Punk's pipe bomb promo and SummerSlam, maybe is when I really was liking. I really did love. I was really into the product, but there were so many things that they screwed up with. The fact that Punk came back a week after he left, Triple H getting involved, Kevin Nash getting involved, Alberto Del Rio getting involved, um, Punk's momentum being stifled a little bit until he won it back at Survivor Series of that year. Just a lot of things I saw that just ruined what could have been a generation defining storyline for a lot of things for that company. So when I looked at it, when I went into the Edward Elric Haru Glory story, um, I took inspirations from that storyline, but I wanted to put my own twist to it. I wanted to kind of put my own perspective into that storyline. I think it can be said at this point that the Haru Edward Elric rivalry is arguably the greatest rivalry in Excel, and maybe one of the greatest rivalries in ACW period. And that might be a question I might ask maybe tonight, since we're doing this Thanksgiving here today. What do you think? What do you think are the greatest rivalries in ACW history? There's a lot of them. There are a lot of rivalries that I've done in ACW, but which ones do you think are the greatest to where it's not up for discussion, it's not up for debate? So there's that. But yeah, I'm not surprised that I did it better because you know, it's funny. Like WWE has like 20 to 30 writers, and I'm just the only person doing my own feuds, and it turns out it comes out better than a lot of WWE storylines. Really makes you think. What match are you looking forward to at DCA Revelations 4? Obviously, Reiko and Sakura for certain reasons, but that should probably be a great match. Are you considered Roger Smith's boss? Well, yeah. I mean, I own the company, but in terms of like individual brands, they have the ultimate final acting power, unless I override it with the board of directors. So, would you prefer Ronda versus Charlotte or Ronda versus Becky at Mania? I think I would prefer Ronda Becky only because of the way it's been built and how the characters have really been built up to this point with the rivalry. Like Charlotte and Ronda, there's a way they could do that right too. But the thing with Ronda and Charlotte is that it would only be specifically because they want to promote it as the greatest main event ever for Mania history. That this is the first time women are main eventing. It's like I really don't want to hear that leading up to the build for Mania. How about it just be a legit story between two characters that have an issue with each other? And that's what Becky and Ronda have right now. To where you wouldn't need to try to pander by saying this is the first ever female main event of Mania. It can just go solely by the fact of Becky going at it with Ronda, not just on Twitter, but just on the Raws and Smackdowns. There's a way you can do that. Um, did you and your family put your Christmas tree up yet? If not, when do you do it? Uh, well, the tree's not up, but I don't know if we're gonna do it this year. But we usually do it like around like what second week of December ish, something like that. Let's see. Gohan versus Naruto, hands down. Yeah, I figured. I figured someone would say Gohan versus Naruto being one of the greatest ACW rivalries of all time. That makes sense. Would you consider Reiko versus Jury the best Glamour X feud in ACW history? Yeah, because it's a division defining it's a defining moment for the Glamour X division in a lot of ways. Do you see Io, Lacey, or Bianca being the one to take the title from Shayna? It's probably gonna be Io. It's probably gonna be Io. Yeah, I'll stick with that. All right, I think the questions are done here because I think the questions have stopped. So there you go. All right, well there you go. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me for this ACW newscast number 89. Now here's the deal. I won't make this promise, but there probably will be one more newscast before Animania 5 week, number 90. If not, then the next newscast will be the newscast that will kick off Animania 5 week, which will be in December. So, um, yeah, that's probably gonna have the effect. It's good to be back. I've been simultaneously been working on Anime Revolution, Excel, Impulse, and the Element Tournament all in one sitting. So it's been hard for me to really get out certain episodes and programs, but everything's been taken care of for the most part. So next week we're back to business. Excel and Impulse will be released for you guys next week, along with the Element Tournament beginning on Saturday. Next Saturday, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. All 16 matches from the first round will be live next Saturday, so get ready for that. Um, so we're just gonna get back to the stretch of things. We're gonna get this season done, finally finished, so that way I can finally take after Animania 5. I can take my much deserved break from ACW, and then come back later in that year to give you a new season, a new era, if you will, of ACW, to where we're going to take things to the next level in a lot of ways. So, with that being said, thank you guys very much for joining me for this impromptu Thanksgiving edition of the newscast. Again, like I said, it's good to be back, and I am Hakeem Johnson telling all of you to stay cool. Stay cool. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys. Happy holidays. Happy Black Friday. Whatever you want to call it. Enjoy your family outings. Enjoy whatever you guys need to enjoy necessary for your holiday. I will see you guys next week. And I'll see you later. Bye.